And see how the parties are winning on the social media platform war, and we bring in our in-house social media guru, Bongi Mogale. Thank you. So we were looking at this yesterday, and this is really kind of flashing up what's trending. Just explain this, Matt.
All right. This now is for the past 24 hours, right up until 6 p.m. And what we're having a look here is all the popular hashtags around the elections, but this is more of a general overview with no specific party or specific, let's say, entity linked to it. And I'll explain what I'm talking about as we move down. We'll see that particularly from the past 24 hours, it's been the election results 2021, that's right at the top, along with elections 2021. But I think with the elections, with the results having been coming in, that's been the one that's kind of leading the way.
And are these useful? I mean, using hashtags to kind of collate?
It is.
Because people are using very long hashtags, not minding that it eats into their actual tweets.
Remember, we've got, 280 characters now? No longer the 140, so it's okay. Yeah. We've got some room to play.
So before we move on, you mentioned Futsak ANC yesterday, yes. But I see here its counterpart, Futsak EFF.
Yes. They had this, it was this thing where people were fed up, I think, with both parties on social media, and so they would choose. If the parties were having a day, I think, where they were basically pushing how good they were and voting for them and supporting them, there would be a countermeasure to say, no, actually not. There is an element of you that needs to just go away now.
All right, and we have some of the media houses there, including us.
Yes.
That's nice to see. Yes. Action SA is still there.
Yes.
Run us through this.
And these are the popularly mentioned handles. As we can see, My ANC, for the ANC's handle, obviously, they're the ruling party. At the moment, EFF South Africa, very popular on social media. Julius, obviously, as a party leader, very, very vocal person there. The DA itself, and Cyril Ramaphosa actually coming under Julius Malema at this point. And the newcomers, Action for SA, they have actually made very strong showing in social media, as they have, particularly in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah, and that was before and after.
This is before and after, yes. They've run quite a successful campaign.
All right, party mentions over time.
Yes.
Take us through this.
This is starting from around 6 p.m. yesterday to 6 p.m. today. So what we're having a look at here is My ANC is the one in the yellow. Obviously, lots. From in the evening yesterday, as we would know, we had quite a lot of results. I think we were at about 50-something percent of results coming out. Those are the mentions with that.
Yeah.
EFF, always also quite high. Then we had DA in blue and Action SA, as you can see.
Sure.
People are talking about them on social media. There's a lull because, well, we're sleeping at this point in time. And then it picks up again a lot, as you can see from this evening, and it makes a lot of sense. If you can have a look, it's been the ANC dominating the conversation, whichever way you look at it, because we've actually had them here engaging, having press conferences and all of that, talking about, well, what's the next move now? Okay, so that is what
and
that
then
means.
You'll have a spike. So at that point, people are talking about the DA.
For instance, this would have been perhaps him mentioning, well, how they've done when he was here talking about what's the way forward now. And then these are the party leaders. Cyril Ramaphosa is leading the way. Super popular man. What did we do this? Yes. Super popular man. Julius Malema is also there. I have a feeling that Julius will be leading the way tomorrow. He's having a press conference here at the Rock. So we'll obviously be able to go through that.
But interestingly, over time, Cyril Ramaphosa mentioned more and more.
We're going to get to it when we start to have a look at now specifically with the parties and what the conversation is around the parties.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
All right, and this is just the overall sentiment with the hashtags linked to these elections. It's mainly positive sentiment, okay? Some are just neutral.
I'm very surprised by that, given the big losses for the big parties. But this is everybody. This is the public, everybody.
Yes. And remember, everybody
not feeling very upset at the moment, basically.
Not too upset, and it would also include party supporters.
Sure.
And members of the party themselves.
Yes,
and they would be quite happy. So it's not too bad.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
Yes.
Are we?
We are now. This is where. No. We continue with this one. Now this is where you can understand.
Okay.
Why. This now we were looking at linking with the ANC, particular hashtags linked to the ANC. But looking at this now, you wouldn't actually think it, because
So this is when people are talking about the ANC or engaging with the ANC?
Hashtags that have been used popularly in reference with the ANC, the search term. We limited it to the parameters around the ANC.
Sure.
And as you can see, with the ANC, but it says I voted EFF, wire. Okay.
So complaining about the ANC.
Yeah,
and
complaining
saying,
about the
voted
ANC. This is why the ANC is not doing very well, because EFF is somehow becoming a part of it. If we look very, very closely, you'll see here that we've started with Recall Cyril making its way in.
Hashtag Recall
the
Cyril.
hashtag Recall Cyril. So we're already thinking, it's already the post-election period at this point. The people on Twitter are like, okay, fine, well, what's going to be the next step now? Seeing as how the party's results were not perhaps as pleasing as they would have wanted them to be.
And that might explain why we're seeing Cyril Ramaphosa mentioned so
Yes.
often, so sometimes being blamed for the poor results.
Yeah, they've already started. I do believe that the campaign for the next elections has started now. So we're starting to see the mentions are coming through.
Interesting.
And these are the popularly mentioned accounts or names: Cyril Ramaphosa, my ANC, the presidency. Obviously, he's linked to these two. Are basically almost the same thing. They mirror each other. And obviously, with the party one, SA Police Service, with security issues, obviously around the president. So these things would kind of go together. Not quite sure why Land Noli is there, but people tend to just like toss in stuff with things, and we'll see here with the ANC mostly neutral. I think people
Again,
are
very
kind of on the
interesting.
fence, kind of maybe they stayed away, like the voters perhaps chose to stay away. But then when we start to compare negative to positive, it is mostly positive, the positive outweighing the negative.
Should we also mention here that the ANC has not done well in urban areas
Yes.
where you have a lot of people on social media.
Yes.
They've done well in rural areas where people do have phones, but maybe not as active, or is that too simplistic?
No, it isn't too simplistic. There is the urban and rural divide with social media also, you know.
And we know EFF supporters very vocal on social media.
Very
and action, they say
vocal.
also.
Here we go. The hashtags popularly linked with the parameters around the EFF are just the election results. So obviously the conversation has been more focused on the EFF and the EFF's performance, unlike with what we saw with the ANC, where the conversation was more about the EFF than it was about the ANC. And as we can see, they've had this long-standing situation with the former finance minister, Trevor Manuel, and we see a very small one there that's also coming through. That would be from the supporters of the party. And I see here not too much of that whole Futsaki EFF stuff here. Has been quite focused on performance.
Kumkani mood, do we know what that is
We
yet?
don't know what that is, and that keeps, it's probably there. The Kumkani people will know what it is. I can't tell you.
Okay, maybe as it moves up. We have about 2 minutes, so do you want to go through this, or should we?
No, we can go to the next one. I just wanted to show you now. Okay, so yesterday, obviously, the party leaders some of them took to Twitter to communicate with their supporters, with their voters. This was John Steenhuisen, okay, and I just wanted to spend a little bit of time on him. Obviously, he says thank you to the South Africans who came, who breathed the sun, and then he has to throw in a jibe at the IEC, saying, and the ranking competence of the IEC, we salute you.
Sure.
Interestingly enough about John Steenhuisen, he's one of the politicians who's a regular blocker of Twitter users. Sometimes the conversation under him is more about the fact that he's blocked people than what he's actually saying. Julius also
Final one,
saying,
we don't have time, so let's look at Julius.
That's Julius saying thank you, obviously, to everybody else. Doesn't have any jibes to say, just a nice one.
Which might be unusual.
I think there was perhaps a bit of a humbling thing with these elections, but yeah, we
just have time for these two quickly.
Okay, cool. Could we actually skip these ones, Mzwana Lamanya? What I wanted to show you is what is going to be, I think, the meme for these elections. This was Uncle Gweda Mantashe. I think it was yesterday. As you can see, not looking very happy. He is actually our meme champion for elections. This is 2021, and in 2016, this was him, not too pleased. He gave us the election meme also that year.
So he is expressive, and he chatted to us on the floor earlier,
Yes.
and he did say that ESCOM is the main opposition of the ANC. So maybe right there in that meme moment, he was thinking about ESCOM.
They've done this to me.
All right, thank you very much, Bongi Mogale, our social media guru from the SABC. Back to Vuyo. Who do you have here?
Thanks very much, Francis.